De repente un fuego, a fire of the blackest flame. No light, no light. The blood to a fever cools. It's not the other faces in the Zoom screen that disconcert me. They're facsimiles of a topography of smiles, nods, and gestures I am so familiar with, and give comfort of the kind there is no metric for. Their voices come through the computer speaker with the clarity, if not the timbre, of actually being here. Though here is hardly anywhere one expects to be. It's the stranger, boxed in the corner of the grid, whose look alarms me. The unraggedy face, aged by seclusion, the long-drawn and corded mouth, hardly capable of words, the uneven islands on which his eyes lie marooned by the thinnest sleep, and the overriding troubles of our age, taking residence in the dry pleats of his brow. It's some funhouse mirror looking back at me with the same astonishment, comical almost, and pathetic without question. I want to know how he managed to Zoom bomb our proceedings. But I'm seized, as he is, by some quiet horror, some intuition of a collision of forces we predicted only too well, again and again. Again. The pulpy awning of his eyelid over his pupil falls, weighted by numberless concerns which dimly seem like my own reflected back. I know his name. His image is stamped with it, but reading it, I forget my own, while he leans into the frame to speak. And as I turn away from his face, my face suffers some merciful erasure. Any secret he might have told, lost in the lag of the stream. Not here. Not here. Aquí no. The urging of the dark, taut as a wire, is the walk to light.
Hincando el mar, raíz roto, no me secaste o ahogaste, ni de mi hogar desterraste, mi hogar en donde floto. Esta es mi esencia tal como una semilla de mangle, aún después de desgarrarse, aun cuando desterrada, rodeada entera por agua, nunca ha de marchitarse. Soy tierra desgajándome, rodeada entera por mar, sin rumbo fijo a cruzar, mi alma conteniéndose e igual naturalizándose adentro de mi raíz. y acá, allá o allí, dependiendo si la marea una vez me asienta en tierra, lejos o donde nací. Mas mientras ansiosa espero, también desesperándome soy tierra desgajándome barco que no anda o ancla en puerto. Raíz asida al viento, el vaivén del mar llevándome, soy tierra desgajándome, desgajada mi existencia solo donde agarra tierra, raíces hechas clavándoles. No decido cómo o dónde, cruzando la tempestad entre corrientes de mar, tan incierto es mi brote como si de saldrá a flote. Un incierto en donde floto, la mar mi destino y todo, las mareas agitándose, soy tierra desgajándome hinco en el mar, raíz roto. Soy pura cepa de mangle, puedo hundirme o hincar en tierra, flotar en oscilación eterna, mas no he de doblegarme. Soy tierra desgajándome, mas bañándome y buscándome entre ciclones y mareas, aún conservo la certeza que un día acabaré encontrándome. Raíz asida al viento, el vaivén del mar llevándome, soy tierra desgajándome, barco que no anda o ancla en puerto. Flotando en vaivén eterno, buscando dónde hallarme según me embarque el oleaje, no soy hija de mar o tierra, soy boricua de pura cepa y pura cepa de mangle.
I wanted Poppy to be the man he drew in his bedtime stories, slaying demons and their dragons with bold Black Panther glory, quite boring with the other fairy tales written in children's books, where nice helmets only fit those with blue-eyed Aryan looks. But in his lullabies, Poppy didn't need no armor. No arrow, no archer could ever pierce his pride. A pharaoh who needed no vizier to side every great villain when they met their demise, jeopardized by fate meeting them in my Poppy's brown eyes. But depression didn't need a dragon's wings to stop Poppy from doing his own thing. In fact, it doesn't need most anything to bring a king down to his knees and sing. It brings your will on a tight little string, and that ain't for free, not even for kings. So depression was implied like monsters under my own bed. Its aggression poured inside of my own Poppy's own head. With a flick of his hand, the boogeyman would be dead. But when depression came outside, he just ran away instead. He ran away from jobs when he knew they were lost. He ran away from mommy, she reminded him the cost. He ran away from people who would try to understand. He ran away from those who saw an angry black man. But I would still wait in my bed every night for a story where he would set everything right. But he was too busy going and lacing his laces, running each and every night and day to near and far places. So I forgot his fairy tales and all that he said. The monsters under my own bed were just in my head. I bred the ones I dread into my life more alive than dead. If I fled said waters, cause I knew not how to tread or fight the waters that I knew would just have me drowned out. Go against tides and to be dragged down. Compliance like Poppy and realized I had no chance. Flailing in open water, so I decided to dance. I danced when I thought the shark chasing me was depression. I danced when I needed to check that salty aggression. I danced out of the deep end and into the shallows. I danced onto the shore, straight into the gallows. I danced when they ordered my freedom public execution. I danced when they disguised it as entertaining collusion. I danced when they burned down my house with all its possessions. I danced when they realized they couldn't burn my expression. I danced when they had no choice but to have me exiled. I danced when they deserted me in unconquered wilds. I danced to be my own sun and my own sky. I danced cause it's the only time I felt like a fly. And shy was my tongue but roaring with my bones. Tied down by all the fantasies I tied in my soul. But when I realized I'd grown, I had to let them all go. Throw away metaphors and face everything I know. I dance when bullies call me a faggot with twinkling toes. I dance when I can smell the feel so strong under my nose. I dance cause my words don't mean, but girl, they can prose. I dance cause it's the only time I felt in control. And that's when I realized Poppy wasn't telling me lies every time he straight diva his tails to kiss me goodnight. Because no beast could stop him from running with all his might. No blazing sun, no pouring rain, cause my Poppy runs to learn about pain. For his first 50 at the 48th mile, he greeted pain with a sincere smile. Pain, I know you were here, I knew you were coming. And pain, he would say, come and get all your loving. And he half out those 55 miles with pride. With every cramp, it would spasm, stabbing his side. But by embracing each one with a warm love and hug, he numbed all the hurt with the power of love. So when people are killed for being loud and gay, I would dance to remind myself I am okay. I would dance to all those people that no longer can. I will dance to defy every wall, lie, and ban. And when hate itself was elected to power, best believe I started my day dancing in the shower. You can go on and say that I'm wasting my time, that loving myself something short of a crime. But when you elect a man that can only spit lies about my brown skin and my Taino thighs, I ain't gonna cry, I just wonder how you don't about the mess you made in the seas I brought to sow. Oh, you thought one man could bottle our glory? Sell it like Coke on some 58 stories. Well, I got a story about twice of a man that still ran when America realized the streets will not pave the global bubble dreams. Owned by capitalism, the chasm of the craftsmen racing rats fell into the economy's ravines. But my Poppy kept running so I could hold on to my dreams. Sorry, America, I refuse to not be. I know you wanna be great, but I gotta be me. And the tree that gave my Poppy his legs of steel is the same one that gave my body music to feel. And if you thought fascism could chop it on down, catch up to my Poppy's 50, try to touch his gold crown.
Stephanie's voice traveled from her microphone and blended into the muggy night air over the cheers and applause. "I'm gonna need your help with this next one." The fans knew this song by heart, of course. Everybody did. 2 chords in, and somehow the volume of the crowd's excitement doubled. I didn't know that was possible. Watching Stephanie, you'd think these just happened to be the words she was thinking in the moment, each phrase flowing effortlessly from her head to her microphone and filling the air. She moved with the fiddle as if it were another limb of her body. The way they fit together, there's a chance that was true. The drummer grinned at the audience from behind his set, and the guitarist's musicianship could rival any of the country greats. But it was the lead singer who had the audience captivated, singing "Nowhere, Nowhere, Nowhere," while the people staring up at her would willingly follow her anywhere, anywhere, everywhere. I couldn't blame them. I would too.
I'm heading to nowhere soon, so I can be next to you. Under the harvest moon, to watch a childhood dreams come true. With nothing on my mind, nobody by my side. We'll be nowhere just in time, sometime between now and never. The clock ticks a tune when we're together. Nowhere fast and nowhere soon.
Each person in the crowd believed they were a bigger fan than the person next to them. And they had the smiles, screams, tears, posters, t-shirts, and even tattoos to prove that they loved Stephanie more than anyone in the world. They were all wrong, though. Stephanie McCoy's biggest fan wasn't in the audience. The biggest Stephanie McCoy fan was up on stage, wearing her comfiest boots and a daisy-patterned romper that resulted in an uncomfortable wedgie. Me and my banjo, and my wedgie, stood upstage with a view of Stephanie's head as she addressed the audience like they were her BFFs. Stephanie's perfectly smooth, frizzless hair apparently hadn't gotten the memo that it was still summer in the South, with humidity that wrapped around you like a sweater made of hot air. I couldn't see anything but the back of her head from where I stood, but I knew from experience that this was the part where she winked at the audience. I played my chords and sang my oohs and ahs. Backup singing gave me so much experience oohing and ahhing, you'd think there were baby animals nearby. In their minds, the audience knew Stephanie McCoy as well as they knew their best friends. It was her blonde hair and freckled face on the posters on their bedroom walls, her voice that blasted through their headphones on their worst days. I couldn't understand how the attention didn't bother her. I didn't get any attention, which was the exact amount I wanted. Even the super fans in the front row, the ones I recognized from meet and greets in other cities, they just knew me as Daisy McCoy, banjo player and little stepsis of their favorite singer-songwriter. There were way too many Daisies in my life. That was my one complaint. The Daisies were a whole situation. The first thing that happened after Stephanie became famous was a huge meeting with very important people in a very important conference room, debating what my name should be. They didn't like the idea of country music's brightest new teen sensation, Stephanie McCoy's squirmy younger stepsister and banjo player, sharing a name with an alcoholic beverage. Something about it being bad for the image. Plus, reminders of my Mexican heritage always made them anxious. I argued that that was stupid, since margarita means daisy in Spanish. I was named after my grandma, and the drink was named after a flower. It's a great name, thank you all very much. My stepbrother, Chandler, shares a name with an old sitcom character and a bunch of girls, but no one held a conference about changing his name, even though by that point he'd left the band for good. But still. Either way, maybe I should have kept my big mouth closed and kept my helpful translation tips to myself, because the very important people and their very important bigwig bosses decided to rename me Daisy McCoy.